Hello, my name is Gene. I'm an instructional librarian at Mabee Library, and I'm making this video tutorial to show you how to access our research databases at Mabee Library. So when you do research on your own, you might go to Google and let's say you have a question you want answered, and you put some keywords related to your question in the search box, or maybe you put in a question or two, and then you look at all the results that Google provides you, and you choose the one you think best answers the question. However, when you are in college, you need a higher level of information when you do research. When you're in college, you are a scholar and you perform academic research. And because of that, you need to support your ideas with information that was created, written by experts. In whatever field you're writing in, you need people who are experts in that field. And so most of that information comes in the form of articles. So these experts do research, they write about their research, and they publish an article in a journal that is read by other experts in their field. And this is the kind of information you need when you do research. This information is often very expensive. You have to pay for it. If you find one of these articles online through Google, and you try to access it because you need it for the research paper you're writing, you might be asked to pay for it, sometimes up to $30, $40, or even more than that. So Washburn, we pay for you to have access to databases where you can find these articles and read the entire article and access it and use this kind of research in your papers. So to begin my search, I go to washburn.edu. This is Washburn University's homepage. And from here, among these choices at the top, I hover over academics, and then I glide down to, library. And now I'm on Mabee Library's main page. From here, I could go to Atlas Catalog One Search, and I could begin a very general kind of search there, put in my terms that I'm searching for in there, and see what comes up. But this is a very broad sort of search where I'm looking at books, I'm looking at electronic files, I'm looking at legal documents, things I might not want in my search might come up. And so for a more controlled search, let's say I'm looking for peer-reviewed journal articles, then I, instead of going down here, I go over here on the left to find it, and I click on that. From there, I go to articles and databases. So where we are now are our academic databases. And we have 203 of them. There are lots of ways to access these databases. For example, you can do it by subject. So here we see what looks like a list of things you major in college. So whatever you're majoring in, we have databases that are specific to your research. There's also a librarian who's assigned to your major to help you with your research. For example, if we click on, let's say, kinesiology, we have databases that are specific to health research and kinesiology. However, when I'm starting a general search, I go with a general database. And to do that, I go to, we're back on the A to Z databases, and I click on Academic Search Ultimate, this one right here. So again, I'm back on Mabee Library's main page. I clicked on Find It, and then I go to Articles and Databases, and then takes me back to this page like we did before. All right, so I click on Academic Search Ultimate, and I am now in a database. And in some ways, it looks like Google because we've got our search box. Of course, we have 3 of them, and we can add more boxes if we need. And when you do research here, you're not going to get Google kinds of results. I'm not going to get thousands or millions or over a billion hits. I'm just, I'll get a much narrower kind of result, but a much better result for what I'm looking for. However, before I begin, I go up here to the top and I click on Choose Databases. So when I first begin a search, I want a broad search within these databases. So I choose Databases, and now I'm actually broadening the databases I search. These all come through EBSCOhost. This is a list of all the databases that they offer us. So no matter what I am searching for, I am searching for it from the viewpoint of criminology and art and the military and business and psychology, because I, believe it or not, whatever subject you're researching, there's probably something about it in all those fields because everything touches everything else. So I start with a very broad search. Okay, so I've chosen databases, and then I want to control my search a little more. So I go down to limit your results. I click on full text. Even though, like I said, we pay for you to have access to these articles, articles that we may not pay for will still show up in your results here. So I try to eliminate those, at least at first, to see what you can directly have. So I click on that, and then I also click on scholarly peer reviewed, because that's often what professors want. And that's what I'm looking for when I'm doing my own research. So I click on that. So all of the articles are scholarly peer reviewed. Now I'm ready to start searching. So let's say that I want information on this painting, which there's the information about it. And I'm going back to my database, my search engine, and I'm going to put in, I don't know the exact name. Let's say I don't know the exact name of the work of art, but I'm going to put in this. That's the name of the, I think, person who's in the painting, and the word portrait. This is how it's commonly referred to online. So I put in those search terms right there, and I'm going to see what I get in terms of results. And I click on search, and I get 54 results, which is actually pretty good for these databases. It's not bad at all. So now I have a list of 54 articles. One thing I might think about in a way to limit my results is I mean, if you're researching art, let's say, the data publication may not be so important. Let's say I'm researching health or science or computer issues, and I might want the most recent research, say things written within the last 5 years or so. 1982 is pretty far back in the past, but I'll let that go because this is about art, something we haven't made great advances necessarily in this kind of research in the last 30 years. Okay, but here we are. We have our 54 results. So I can get a lot of information just by looking at the titles of the articles. Each one of these is an article, and the titles are often very long and descriptive of what the research is about. So of course, I'm not just researching this painting. I have a specific question about it that I want answered, and so I'm looking through the titles to see if it will answer my specific question about that painting. So let's say that I like this article based on the title. So before I go downloading the PDF, I want more information on the article. So I click here on the title, and it takes me to more information about the article. So one thing I see is, who wrote it and the journal it appeared in, things like that. But there's also usually an abstract, which is a summary of the painting, of the article. And so I read that, and after I read this, if I think this article might work for my research, then I can download it. And I click on PDF full text, and I can download it. So I can save it to my desktop if I want. Lots of things I can do with it once I've got it there. When I see the PDF version of the article, that means I am looking at it as it was originally published in the journal. So all the images will be there. The text is all laid out properly. If there are any charts and graphs, those will all be included. Another option I have is, let's go back here. Let's say that I like this article. I can email the article to myself. This would be the PDF. I just click on this, and I put in my email address right there, and it comes directly to me. So those are different ways you can access the article. I'll show you one little thing that's over here also is the Cite button. If you're going to cite this article in your paper, you will have to make a citation for it at the end of your paper and also in text. This would be for your end of text citation, the full citation of the article. And let's say I'm using APA. There's APA. So I can highlight that and copy and paste it in to my works cited page or my bibliography or whatever style I'm using. However, beware that these are often incorrect, meaning they're mostly correct. However, they're often mistakes. So I will have to check this citation before I actually turn my paper in. Okay, so that's generally how these databases work.